dynamic quarterback plays for the Green Bay Packers. His name is Brett Favre. 3 times the league's most valuable player, Favre blends dynamism with talent, leadership, and emotion, and has played in lots of high-stakes games, including 2 Super Bowls.
Brett Favre, touchdown!
He lives for the big games.
There's no substitute for playing a game like that and making big plays. And that's why I was so excited. But I get excited in every game. I really do. And I think people see that when I play.
We saw it last week when the Packers met the San Francisco 49ers and Favre threw the game-winning touchdown pass. It was Green Bay's biggest win of the season, and Brett Favre was the star.
I pride myself on winning and making big plays in crucial situations. And at the end of that game the other day, throwing that touchdown, it doesn't get any more crucial than that. I just keep shooting and see what happens.
With both barrels blazing tonight, Brett Favre leads the Green Bay Packers into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, 2 of the NFL's storied franchises. Go at it tonight on ABC's Monday Night Football. Cool and clear in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Temperature around 50 degrees. And for the first time since 1986, the Green Bay Packers come to Steeltown. The capacity crowd will look on at Three Rivers Stadium tonight as their Pittsburgh Steelers host the Green Bay Packers. Al Michaels with Dan Deerdorf and Boomer Esiason. When we last saw the Packers on the Monday night 5 weeks ago, they were skunked by Minnesota. They didn't know where they were. But last week, a big win at home against San Francisco, and at the halfway mark, they're 6-2 and feeling pretty good about themselves. But the Steelers have been unbelievably inconsistent. 2 weeks ago, they go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs on the Monday night, only to turn around and get killed last week by Tennessee here at Three Rivers. I think tonight the question gets answered. Are the Steelers contenders or pretenders? Good matchup. Green Bay and Pittsburgh coming up on Monday Night Football.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Let's go down to the field now and join Leslie Visser.
Al, Bill Cowher has never lost 2 straight games, both at home. But, Bill, last week you benched your quarterback. You gave up 41 points on defense. What do you have to do tonight?
Well, we got to come out and put last week behind us, play like we know how to play. It's Monday night. It's a big game, 9th game of the season. Get our crowd into it. We need some big plays, get them into it, kind of feed off it.
You're kind of magic on Monday night.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bill. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Bill Cowher in his 7th year. He has guided his team into the playoffs in each of the previous 6, once to the Super Bowl. Ryan Longwell will kick off for Green Bay, and back deep to receive for the Steelers are Will Blackwell, 89, and David Dunn, the ex-Bengal, 83.
Got to be excited for this game, huh, guys? This is great. This is a great atmosphere, a great stadium to play in, and 2 teams that need this win very badly.
The crowd waving the towels per usual in Pittsburgh. It's a short kick fielded on the run by David Dunn up at the 16-yard line. A flag comes in as Dunn gets tackled at the 32-yard line. So a flag on the opening play. And the referee tonight is a rookie referee, Ron Winter, number 14, who's been in the league 4 years as an official, but his first year as a ref, and a holding call against Pittsburgh will move the Steelers back.
Certainly not what you want when you have a struggling offense.
Holding. Number 54 during the return. 10-yard penalty.
First down.
Dante Jones to the displeasure and chagrin of Bill Cowher. And we take a look right now at the offense for the Steelers. Cordell Stewart, drafted out of Colorado as a quarterback, wide receiver, and possible running back 4 years ago. Now in his 2nd year as the Steelers' #1 QB on first down, going right to the air and hits Courtney Hawkins, who caught 14 passes to set a new Steeler team mark last week against Tennessee. The rest of the offense, you've got the bus out of the backfield. He's the key guy. And Tim Lester, the blocking back. Charlie Johnson and Courtney Hawkins on the outside with Mark Bruner, the tight end. Up front, the veteran Wolford, the rookie Faneca from LSU, the Pro Bowler Dawson, Stye, and Jermaine Stevens with not a lot of experience at right tackle, where Justin Strelzik is gone for the season. It is 2nd down and 4. And the bus on his first carry of the night swings to the outside, takes it up to the 24, shy of the first down, tackled there by the rookie Vonnie Holliday. Let's look at that Green Bay defense. Up front as Fritz Shurmur takes a look at this unit. Reggie White having a tremendous year. Dotson, Gilbert Brown, and the rookie Holliday from North Carolina. Kuntz, Harris, and Williams are the linebackers. In the secondary, Newsome and Tyrone Williams at the corners. Leroy Butler and Darren Sharper are the safeties. 3rd down and 1 out of the eye. Lester the up back. Bettis is the tailback, and Jerome with a first down. A 9-yard carry to the 33, tackled by Sharper.
What a terrific block that time by Tim Lester. You have to wait. You have to like the way the offense of the Steelers have come out and played right now. Open it up, let Cordell throw on first down, which is what you always want your quarterback to do. And then give the ball twice to Jerome Bettis and let him follow Tim Lester.
Charles Johnson moving out wide left. Johnson last week 3 touchdown catches from the 32-yard line. Stewart to the air again on first down, and it is caught by Charles Johnson at the 31-yard line. No gain or even negative yardage on the play. Leroy Butler with the coverage.
That almost looked like some type of a confusing pattern run by Johnson, and it was strictly an outlet pass thrown by Cordell Stewart as Fritz Shurmur signals in the call from the far sideline.
You know, Danny had a slant inside that he wanted to throw, and the linebackers got in the throwing lane, and that's what you want Cordell to do. Throw it to the second receiver. Don't try to force it to that first guy.
Back to Bettis. And this time he picks up about 3 to the 35. So each series has begun with a pass and then a couple of runs, and it's 3rd down and long upcoming here.
Boomer, radio stations, television stations here in Pittsburgh doing polls on Cordell Stewart. People seem to have lost sight of the fact he's halfway through his 2nd year as a starter.
It's an amazing thing. Talking to Bill Cowher last night, they were saying how last year there really weren't expectations for him, and this year the expectations are so high because they got to the AFC Championship game that this kid now has to play under an extreme amount of pressure in his home stadium.
4 wideouts, 3rd down and 7 from the 35-yard line. And Stewart out of the shotgun, hangs in there, wide open. Courtney Hawkins inside the 30, cuts it back, and Hawkins inside the 20, finally taken down at the 12-yard line by Tyrone Williams.
An outstanding job of pass protection by the Pittsburgh Steelers front wall. They picked up the blitz. Leroy Butler, as he is so prone to do, blitzes for the Packers. Butler, I believe, will come in from the left of your screen. He's picked up by Jermaine Stevens. And even though Stewart took a shot, they gave him a chance to find Hawkins downfield.
Great play design that time, too, to beat man-on-man coverage and let Hawkins outrun Newsome down the sideline.
First down after a 53-yard gain to the 12. And back to the ground to Bettis, who takes the ball inside the 10 to about the 8, 2nd and 6.
You know what I really like, Dan, is watching the way the Steelers, after the ball was completed, they got down the field, got in the huddle, and got the play call and got to the line of scrimmage in almost a hurry-up fashion. And it puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense of the Green Bay Packers to match up in this situation.
Well, I think the Steelers know that the reputation of the Packers is, as the game goes along, they tend to get tired. It would benefit Pittsburgh to play an up-tempo game.
It is 2nd down and 6 now from the 8-yard line. Stewart, good protection, fires incomplete into the end zone, intended for Courtney Hawkins. 3rd down and 6.
Ooh, they caught a break. You know, these are the types of things that young quarterbacks have to be really careful about, is when you're down here in the red zone, you have to make sure that you see the safeties. And if you don't see the safeties, the chances for interceptions and bad things to happen obviously raise. And this time Cordell comes back, he turns his back and keeps his eye on one receiver, and you can see 2 players right there. That's the problem that Cordell's having, trying to force that ball into double coverage.
3rd down and 6. With Johnson in motion. And Stewart looking that way and hits Johnson at the 6, and he takes it into the end zone. And the Packer defense looked confused on that play, as well as the earlier long gainer to Hawkins.
They completely lost track of Johnson.
I bet you if they took a poll right now, who do they think they'd want to be playing quarterback, right?
Well, you saw Mike Holmgren almost saying to Fritz Shermer, in effect, what in the world's going on there?
Well, look at Cordell looking downfield, then going to his second receiver like he did earlier on this drive, and Johnson makes a nice play to get into the end zone.
Green Bay covering Johnson like he was the 5th receiver in the pattern.
Norm Johnson kicks his 267th consecutive extra point, all-time NFL record, and it's a perfect opening drive for the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off that horrible loss last week, now leading 7-0. Pittsburgh Steelers with an opening drive that culminates in a touchdown. 85 yards in 9 plays, and now the Green Bay Packers will get the football for the first time tonight.
If you're a Steeler fan, you have to be happy with the way that Cordell Stewart manages offense. He hit the second receiver a number of times in that particular scheme and read man coverage on a blitz and hit Courtney Hawkins for the big play.
Roel Preston is having a great year running back kicks back deep along with the rookie Corey Bradford, and it is taken at the 10-yard line. In fact, it's Preston who tells Bradford to get out of the way and takes it back to the 30-yard line.
The other way I want it.
They tried to kick it away from him, and he said, no way.
It's Monday night, I want it.
Brett Favre, 3-time MVP, making his 102nd consecutive start. With Travis Jervey now the feature back, William Henderson the fullback, Brooks and Freeman outside. Freeman having a fabulous season. Chimura is the tight end. Verba, Rivera, Winters, Timmerman, and Dotson up front. Brett Favre, 14 interceptions in his last 5 games, including 3 last week against San Francisco. And they begin with Jervey taking it to the 31 for a gain of 1. The Pittsburgh defense, one of the few teams in the league still playing the 3-4, as they have for years. Roy, Steed, and Henry up front. Gilden, Kirkland, Holmes, and Dante Jones are the linebackers, with Carnell Lake. We'll keep an eye on him, and Washington at the corners. Flowers and Perry the safeties. We say we'll keep an eye on him. He injured his ankle last week, missed the second half, and was questionable coming into tonight's game, but he is in the starting lineup. 2nd down and 10, and Favre looks that way, and Lake loses his man, but the pass is errant, and Brooks can't haul it in, and there's a flag down.
Looks like this could be after the play. A personal foul, either that or holding on number 62, Marco Rivera.
Rivera tangled up with Kevin Henry. And it is a personal foul against Green Bay.
And one of the things that was really disappointing for Coach Cowher last week was not so much how badly the offense played. I think he got kind of accustomed to the passing game.
Unnecessary roughness, number 62 of the offense. A 15-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
But what he didn't expect was to have his defense not tackle. They gave up 153 yards rushing to Eddie George, who's one of the better running backs in the NFL. But you know, this defense is built on tackles and making plays, and you can see them getting right in the face of Brett Favre, forcing him to throw the ball a little off the mark.
Back to the 16-yard line. It is 2nd down and 24 for the Packers, who come up in a tight formation. And it's Jervey. And Travis Jervey gets it back close to the original line of scrimmage. Forced out of bounds by Darren Perry. Travis Jervey last year went to the Pro Bowl, but as the special team player from the NFC. He had carried the ball on occasion 2 years ago, not at all last year, and then this year with Dorsey Levens getting hurt and Raymond Harris just not right. He's the guy.
And there's a good look at the Packers at yards per carry, that all-important number, very last in the NFL. Jervey's been nursing a bit of a sore toe, had a couple good practice days this week, and said he's anxious to be playing on artificial turf. Makes him feel faster. He's more comfortable running on this surface.
3rd down and 11 from the 29-yard line. Favre, everybody's covered. As only Brett can do, still on his feet. Across the green, throws, and somehow it's Antonio Freeman for a first down to the 45-yard line.
You know, he's beautiful, really. I mean, to watch him do some of the things, and in talking to Jim Haslett, the defense coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was saying that, you know, the thing that makes Brett Favre so great is just how spontaneous he is in the things that he does in the pocket.
This isn't coached. This is nothing more than Brett playing sandlot football. But Boomer, it's what he gets on this ball, throwing it like that. Look, he's got his feet in the air, and look at the zip that he gets on the football, getting it to Freeman.
How about that double Salchow he did?
Nice job, Dick.
From the 45-yard line, a little screen set up to Jervy inside the 40, and that's close to a first down. Tackled by Kevin Henry at the 35-yard line.
You know, he's beautiful the way he plays. He plays with reckless abandon. He's actually right there on the lunatic fringe, and he's driving Mike Holmgren crazy during games because of some of the decisions he's made throwing the football. But the thing, I mean, how could you not just love to watch him play? I mean, he's just unbelievable, some of the things that he can do. But then he might turn around and just hit Carnell.
But you have to admit, Boomer, when he let that ball go into a crowd, you're going, oh, no.
Oh, great throw.
Yeah. 2nd and 1 from the 36-yard line. Out of the eye.
Joel Steve.
Yep, and this time it is Raymond Harris going nowhere. So they put Harris in the game. The former Chicago Bear who was hurt last year. They operated on Raymond, and he just hasn't been right.
No, he still limps when he walks. He limps when he runs, and he's just that's just the way it is. And that may be the Raymond Harris we see for the foreseeable future. He is everything in Green Bay right now is just biding time in the running game until Dorsey Levens comes back, maybe at the very end of this month, maybe the first week of December.
All depends whether they have to remove the screw from his ankle. If they don't, he's back in a couple of weeks. If they do, a month to 5 weeks, and Favre has to take a timeout after he looks at the play clock, which is already down to 1. It'll be 3rd down and 3 upcoming from the 38-yard line as the Pack takes a timeout. Here in Pittsburgh, the Steelers up 7-0 early. Big Saturday of college football coming up here on ABC. Regional action. Take a look at those beauties. UCLA, Washington, and Nebraska against top-ranked Kansas State. Ohio State after that loss on Saturday against Iowa, North Carolina, Virginia. Check your local listings. 3:30 Eastern time. Saturday. 3rd down and 3 after the timeout. And it is Travis Jervy not getting the first down, only to the 36, tackled there by Chris Oldham. So the choice now is 4th or 1 or a 53-yard field goal attempt.
This is an interesting dilemma right now for Mike Holmgren. I would think that he's probably going to go for it. He's looking to find out how far it is. He'll probably go for it here. He has that much confidence in his offense. So
Sherman Lewis in the background there, the offensive coordinator who pulls down the plays.
now, do they snap the ball, Dan?
Absolutely.
4th and 1. They snap it. They give it to Jervy, who picks and threads his way for what appears to be a first down, tackled by Earl Holmes.
That was hardly a pile driving run. Do we have a flag somewhere? The officials are sure all getting together.
It almost looked like Dante Jones was trying to call timeout number 54.
And he got it.
He did it. Okay,
he called it.
Yes.
So the Steelers on the 4th and 1 as the Pack lined up for it. They take a timeout. They get it. It's 4th and 1 when we come back. First quarter, 6:10 to play. There is the TO. 7-0 Steelers. Jim Haslett is the Steeler defensive coordinator. His unit right now will try to stop the Packers on their opening drive. Levon Kirkland, the linebacker.
If they run it here, Jervy better go in there a little heavier than he went last time.
Yeah, but they're going to pass it, or Favre's going to roll it and throw, and it's caught for a first down. Robert Brooks makes the catch, and he's out of bounds at the 26-yard line, or actually just stayed in, but he picks up the first down by plenty.
That's when you have confidence in your quarterback.
That's exactly, to call a play like that. This time Brett is rolling to his right to get away from the pass rush. He has Antonio Freeman running underneath, and then his second receiver is Brooks. And the unique thing about the receivers along with Brett Favre is they have such a feel for one another. that they know where they're going, especially when things break down.
And Robert Brooks, great example of a guy looking it in.
Great play fake, and Favre throws, and that is incomplete, intended for Antonio Freeman, covered there by Carnell Lake.
I remember talking to Mike Holmgren earlier when we had him this year, and when they get into the red zone or red zone territory, right around the 20 to 30 yard line here, they like to throw for it. They like to go for it. They don't want to be messing around, handing the ball off. His theory is to go after the end zone and try to get it in one big play.
Yeah, I remember him telling us in the meeting, Boomer, he said every play in the red zone is designed to get us into the end zone.
As long as the defense will allow us to go for it.
Well, when you don't have the ability to pound it out, that's what you're forced to do.
Right now, they're a little outside what would be the red zone, outside the 20. And this is Jervy taking it to the 22-yard line.
Is that a live ball? Nobody's signaling one way or the other. Well, then finally we get a call.
The interesting thing about the Packers offense and in watching them evolve over the years, especially with Dorsey Levens and how versatile he is, they run the screen pass about as well as anybody's ever run the screen pass in the NFL. And you know, and Brett Favre has been the beneficiary of that in a lot of ways. And you know, they run screens off of all their plays, all their passing plays, not just your basic screen pass.
It takes timing, and it takes offensive linemen that can run and are good blockers in space.
On 3rd down and 8, Harris hands the ball to Freeman, but Lake is right there. Great play by Carnell Lake. Trailed them all the way, stayed with him, throws him down at the 34, and sets up what will be now more than a 50-yard field goal. 10-yard loss.
Well, normally when a reverse gets broken up, it's because somebody went upfield on the play side. It's not often that you see it run down from behind the way Carnell Lake does right here. He's got man coverage on Freeman, and he just goes after him. I think Carnell's ankle's all right.
Look fine to me right there.
Yeah, I think that high ankle sprain is a thing of the past.
Longwell, a 51-yard kick. He has not missed a kick all season. It is long enough. However, it is wide. Wide to the right, and so a huge play by Lake as he turns what would have been about a 40-yard field goal into a 51-yard attempt, and it's no good. And the Steelers still have the lead, 7-0. Tonight's aerial shots being provided by the Bud1 Airship. Budweiser, an official sponsor of the National Football League, and what a sight that is. That is the Monongahela, Allegheny, and Ohio rivers all converging at the Point. Point Park is there, downtown Pittsburgh, across the river. What a sight.
And another new stadium in the works for the NFL.
Yep, and for baseball as well. The Pirates will have their own park. The Steelers will have their own park, and this will eventually be torn down.
I know there are a lot of memories here for Steeler fans and all of that, but as far as playing on this surface, playing in Veterans Stadium last week and Synergy Field now in Riverfront, the fields, just the players, you know, can't stand playing on the fields. They don't like the AstroTurf, and having a new stadium here is something that will be, you know, certainly supported by all the fans here.
I think the terrible towels are transferable.
Absolutely. It's a great fan base, terrific fans for the Steelers.
From the 41-yard line, the Steelers begin this drive after the missed field goal attempt, and it's Jerome Bettis up to the 44, tackled there by Vonnie Holliday. Vonnie Holliday has been a very pleasant surprise. There he is, the #1 pick out of North Carolina. The Packers actually traded up with Miami in the draft. They were looking for Sean Williams, the safety who was eventually plucked by the Giants, but when Holliday was available, they said, how can he still be there at 19? And they picked him. 2nd down and 6 from the 45-yard line. Stewart throws, and it's not caught at the 42-yard line. Johnson had it, and Butler may have knocked it loose.
I think Leroy did a nice job of pulling that ball loose. That looked like a completed ball. Leroy Butler, such a complete player, a great support safety on the run. But Charles Johnson has this right in there, and that is just Leroy just getting in there. Boy, I keep wanting to say Leroy.
I'm sure that they're watching up here in the booth, the coaches, as well as I am, to see how Cordell is managing this game tonight.
3rd and 6. He's managed to convert all 3 third downs to this point. And you can make him 4 for 4 as Courtney Hawkins makes the catch, and the Packers are going to contend that his forward momentum was stopped shy of the first down, but no way.
You know, the interesting thing, to go back to Vonnie Holliday for a second, is not only did they draft him and trade up to get him, but they drafted him as an interior lineman, and Mike Holmgren said, hey, let's make him an end. That's where we need help.
Well, all the publicity for rookies, especially in the NFC, goes to Randy Moss, the spectacular rookie receiver for the Vikings. In his own way, Holliday is playing his position every bit as well as Moss is playing his. Not a better rookie in the league than Vonnie Holliday.
From the 47-yard line, on the out, it's caught by Johnson, who played his college ball with Stewart at Colorado, and that's a first down to the 36-yard line, tackled by Kuntz and Williams.
Boy, and the Steeler wide receivers are finding all sorts of room between the numbers and the sidelines against this Packer secondary, Boomer.
And Cordell is doing a really nice job of just taking what they're giving him, and he's making quick decisions. And you know, these are the things that we saw at the beginning of last week's game against Tennessee, but they kind of went haywire in the second half. And you know, this bodes well for the passing game of the Steelers.
To Bettis they go.
Because it's going to be awful difficult to run up the middle like that against this defensive line.
He gets to the 33. It'll be 2nd down. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Budweiser since 1876. The classic American lager. AT&T, it's all within your reach. Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile dealers, and BF Goodrich tires take control. Al Michaels with Dan Deerdorf, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser. The Reverend Reggie White with 11 sacks this year, on pace to equal the NFL mark of 22. 11 at the halfway point of the season. 2nd down and 7, and that's incomplete. Hawkins was blocked. No flag. Courtney trying to turn inside and covered well 3rd down.
You know, I was just watching Reggie on that last play, and he just basically took Jermaine Stevens and threw him out of the way. This guy is 6'5", about 300 pounds, and watch this swat. I don't know what you do here, Dan. I don't know how you stop this.
Well, first of all, you're ready for it.
You can't lean with your head, though, can you?
No, it's Reggie's favorite move. It's that hump move where he just gets in there, he gets underneath. It's a game of leverage. This is Stevens' 5th career start. Now, if he slept well last night, I don't know if I believe it. It would be remarkable.
3rd down and 7. The Steelers 4 for 4 on 3rd down out of the shotgun.
See, and there goes Reggie again.
And Stewart's going to run for it. 1st down and a lot more inside the 20. Out of bounds at the 3.
Boy, Hines Ward comes back and gets a nice block down around the 10-yard line. But that was a sack all the way. Reggie White, I'm sure, can't believe that he didn't come up with Cordell Stewart.
These are one of the things that we are not seeing from Cordell Stewart this year, the ability to scramble and make a play with his legs. And what he does here that's really nice is that he steps up in the pocket. This is what you want to do as a quarterback in the NFL. Step up, let the guys run them past you. Now he tries to fake a pass here. I don't know what that is. It's a Brett Favre move, I guess. But, you know, these are the types of things that make him so dangerous.
The Packers, I guess, Al, took a timeout.
They did, and that is their 2nd. So they're down to just 1 with 16 minutes to play in the half.
Reggie White gets his right arm around the waist of Cordell Stewart. Just wasn't enough.
.111 left in the opening quarter. Three River Stadium. Bill Cowher looking at his team leading 7-0, and Mike Holmgren's team in danger of falling behind by 2 touchdowns. Reggie White is out on 1st down anyway. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Charles Johnson is the man in motion. Keep it on the ground, give it to the bus, and he takes the ball down to the goal line. No signal yet. And just shy of the goal line.
I don't know about that. We saw calls like this yesterday in the Baltimore Raider game, where it looked like Don Hollis got over the line, the goal line, broke the play, and this was very close.
Boomer critiquing the officiating in yesterday's game.
So Cordell putting his arm around the head linesman.
I'll tell you, that is close.
Well, but I guess they're saying his knee was down before he did the pirouette to lay the ball over the plane. That, of course, is what the officiating crew is saying.
Second down and goal from the 3-inch line, and Stewart will leap. Touchdown.
Packers are protesting that. But that's a hollow protest. There's not much you can do about that, but it was a great jump off the ball by Green Bay.
I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what the Steelers had hoped for Cordell Stewart to come out, make some plays, get some confidence in his game. And you can see Bill Cowher right there just screaming at all of his players, drooling on them and everything.
Well, just think what he looks like when he's not happy.
It's beautiful.
Norm Johnson has not missed an extra point attempt in 7 seasons.
You won't see ferocity on a face of a coach like that after something good happens.
That's the guy who's winning 14-0.
It's beautiful.
Now tell me he's not chewing everybody out.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers this season in their first 8 games had never gained more than 72 yards in any opening quarter, but a whole other story tonight. 144 yards total offense for Pittsburgh in the opening period.
And the conventional wisdom coming into this game is if it's a shootout, that really favors the Green Bay Packers, who have the quote-unquote high-scoring offense in this game.
You can throw wisdom out when it comes to an NFL game, especially on Monday night. Anything can happen. And
well, Boomer, especially on a Monday night in Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
They love Monday night. Bill Cowher's teams just light it up.
Well, I wouldn't count the Packers out just yet. I can tell you that.
Not with number 4.
Norm Johnson kicks, fielded at the 9-yard line by Roel Preston. And good coverage. Ron Zook's special teams unit has really done a great job this season. Hines Ward down there to make the tackle. A reminder, do not miss an all-new episode of Home Improvement, America's favorite family comedy. Home Improvement, that's tomorrow night right here on ABC. Steelers clearly looking for home improvement after that disaster last week when they trailed Tennessee 34-7 at one point.
No emotion. Guys weren't tackling well on defense. They had a lot of injuries, a number of different things. And tonight, a 180-degree turnaround.
From the 21, Raymond Harris is the running back in this set, and it's caught by Freeman on a slant. Antonio is out to the 31. That should be enough for a first down. Lethon Flowers makes the tackle, and that will be the end of the quarter. End of 1. Pittsburgh leading Green Bay 14-0. And Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Begin the second quarter, and this is Travis Jervey for a short run up to the 34, tackled there by the nose tackle Joel Steed.
Joel Steed, really one of the outstanding defensive linemen in all of football, and he's basically a nose tackle. He gets lined up right on top of the center, and it's his job to be able to absorb a lot of times 2 blockers, a guard and a center, to free up the space for the linebackers behind him. One of the guys that just down and dirty.
Well, we call that grunt work. And he grunted his way to the Pro Bowl last.
2nd and 9. Pressure from the outside, and the sack by Dante Jones. He got around Jervey coming off the edge and picks up the sack. Jones getting the start tonight in place of Carlos Emmons.
It looked to me as if Travis Jervey actually went the wrong way, then realized it and tried to pick off Jones before he could get back. And before he could get back there, Jones got enough speed around.
Well, you don't get a misstep, and you can't go clear on the other side of your quarterback in the National Football League and think you're going to get back in time to pick off a blitzer. It was a nice effort by Jervey, but he can't do it from the far side of the QB.
And I don't know if he went the wrong way or that's the way it's designed. And if it's designed that way, then you're not going to be successful.
3rd and 17, and another time. That's it for them. They've used all 3 timeouts in the first 16 minutes, 8 seconds. 14-0 Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football on ESPN this week. Barry Sanders in action. Chicago is at Detroit. And then on Monday night next week, we go to Kansas City. The Chiefs are reeling, but Denver is unbeaten. They'll try to go to 10-0 next week. The Broncos and the Chiefs on Monday night. It's 3rd and 17 after the Packers have used their last timeout. It is tipped and it is caught by William Henderson, but well short of the first down, and Green Bay is forced to punt.
Last week against the Tennessee Oilers, they gave up a lot of big third down plays. And the defense, the theory for the defense is get off the field as soon as you possibly can. And I'm sure that Coach Haslett, their defensive coordinator, has expressed his concern mightily this week.
And all of a sudden, you know, 1 touchdown is something. 2 touchdowns, all of a sudden a great deal of pressure now falls on the shoulders of the Green Bay defense. They can't afford, obviously, to fall behind by any more than 14.
Sean Landeta with a long and distinguished career and a great punt to the 13. What a punt. Hawkins runs it back. Not only long, but he angled it. He angled it toward the sideline, giving Hawkins very little room to bring it back. 51-yard boot for Sean Landeta. Pittsburgh 14, Green Bay nothing.
Who are you?
I was hired by your roommate.
Well, out of my way, I want a Bud Light.
I don't think so.
This is ridiculous. I live here.
Sorry, you ain't on the list.
List? Is there a problem, Bruno?
Nothing I can't handle.
That's what I like to hear.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Now am I on your list?
Let's see. Nope.
We are the Moose, and we don't lose. We just survive.
Looking for a bit more sophistication? Consider the Nissan Pathfinder LE. With a premium Bose audio system, a spacious, luxurious cabin, and leather-appointed seats, the Nissan Pathfinder could possibly be the most civilized SUV of them all.
See your Nissan retailer for a great lease on all 99 Pathfinders.
The Napa Legend battery has smart plates, which are up to 28% thicker than the grids in ordinary batteries. That's important, because the battery won't get drained as easily, even if you leave the lights on. Napa, over 200,000 parts. And everyone's important.
Mike thinks he's DiCaprio. Paul thinks he's African. And the mayor, he's just not thinking. It must be November on Spin City. See you Tuesday on ABC.
Fritz Shurmur, the coordinator for the Packers, he's got to take some chances. Right now, Cordell Stewart far too comfortable running this Steeler offense.
First down from the 25-yard line. And the ball is given to Jerome Bettis, aiming to the outside. It's a 7-yard gain.
And you're going to have holding. You're going to have holding on the offensive line.
That flag came in way out of the secondary, but thrown clear up towards the line of scrimmage.
Ron Winter is the referee. Ron Winter is a professor at Michigan State. He looks like a professor at Michigan State, does he not?
Quite a weekend. The Spartans.
Good place to be a professor this weekend.
Number 87 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, the field judge is responsible for tracking the tight end. In this case, the Steelers' Mark Bruner, and he gets flagged for the hold right at the point of attack. It's a nice run by the bus.
And you were talking about Fritz Shurmur, and he's going to have to take some chances. That really what it comes down to, you cannot allow Cordell Stewart a comfort zone back in that pocket.
Well, he's got it going now.
It's first and 20, and they give it to Jerome Bettis, and he goes nowhere. He's tackled there by Vonnie Holiday. Well, gents, it's that time of year, the second half of the season. It's when things get extremely interesting. And when you think about it, two teams with Super Bowl aspirations, but the loser of this game is 2 games back in its own division.
Yeah, and that's a real change of pace for these clubs. They're both used to being the lead dog in their own division, and trailing is something foreign to both these guys.
You know, and the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just lost to the Tennessee Oilers, and they have to play them again next week down in Tennessee, and Tennessee comes off a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so it's an extremely important game for both teams.
Second and 21, and it is almost picked off, and instead it's Johnson making the catch. It had the body language of a Rod Smith interception as he came flying by, and the next thing you know, it is close to a first down.
You know, maybe that's a good sign too. A little bit of luck never hurt anybody, and Cordell Stewart's looking the whole way, and he's throwing it one-on-one, and you could see Johnson comes up with a nice catch.
It is 3rd down and 4.
Went right through the hands of Rod Smith.
Steelers perfect thus far on 3rd down. Cordell trying to make it 6 for 6, and he does. It is caught for the first down as he goes to Will Blackwell. His first catch of the night.
Boomer, when you got a quarterback, and this has been a tough week for Cordell, when they start running polls about should you be replaced by Mike Tomczak, I don't care how confident you are, that has to shake you.
It shakes you, it hurts you. You got to remember, you're a human being. And you know this. You read the papers, you hear it. I don't care what he says.
Right.
I mean, you know it's out there. So there was an enormous amount of pressure on him tonight. And so far, he's basically answered the call and he's making the plays.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Polls. Jerome Bettis. Remember in San Francisco in '94, they took a poll after the 49ers lost to Philadelphia 40-8, and like 90% of the people wanted George Seifert replaced by at that time
exactly
Jimmy Johnson out of work.
That's a great.
And they won the Super Bowl, of course, under Seifert.
Well, you know that's the way fans are. I mean, they're passionate about their Steelers. Hey, look, Terry Bradshaw went through it. Neil O'Donnell went through it. I mean, every quarterback in the league is going to go through it somewhere along the line. It's just a question of how you come out of it.
2nd down and 7 from the 39-yard line. Stewart pulls it back down and throws, and coming back is Hawkins to make the catch. Great move to pick up extra yardage. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
Hello, Darren Sharper. My name's Courtney Hawkins, and I'm going to spin you right into the field.
It looked like Cordell wanted to throw the ball down the middle of the field and give credit to the offensive line for giving him great time and letting him take his time back there, and he found Hawkins on the sideline.
We're seeing a little creativity by the two quarterbacks here tonight.
You could see Cordell dropping back, looking down the middle of the field, trying, it looks like he was trying to hit Charles Johnson, and then comes off to his, actually probably his 3rd receiver, throwing it late. What a move.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. The bus, and he makes his presence felt. George Kuntz wrapped him up, sort of.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kuntz will get credit for the tackle, but that's hardly a stunning blow that Kuntz laid on the bus right there.
In watching quarterbacks play, guys, the one thing that you want to look at is you want to look at their presence in the pocket. You want to see how they're delivering the football. Are they delivering it throwing forward? Are their feet planted on the ground? And certainly it helps when you have a guy like Jerome Bettis running over people like this.
Well, that's how you finish. That is how you finish a run. Of course, it helps to be 5'11", 252.
2nd and 5, and it's the bust again to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Bud 1 airship hovering high above this edifice, constructed in the late 60s and opening in 1970. Home of the Steelers since then, and it will be the home through the 2000 season. And then Dan Rooney telling us before the game he's hopeful that in 2001
he'll have another edifice.
He'll have another edifice. Edifice Rex, and they'll be able to play all of their preseason games there as well as the regular season.
What will that edifice be called?
Well, we don't know yet, but
a stadium.
It'll be available for sale. You can bet that. Cordell Stewart, and the old slash takes it inside the 30 for a first down.
Well, this is a beautifully called game so far by Ray Sherman, the new offensive coordinator of the Steelers. There's Ray, and he's taken his share of heat, taking over for Chan Gailey, who's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, a lot of the blame has fallen on Ray, and you can't call the game much better than he's calling this baby.
No, you can't. And really what this was going to be it looked like it was going to be a shovel pass right there to number 86, but Cordell makes a nice play and keeps it and runs around the corner.
If you wonder what Reggie was doing, he read trap, and he's playing the block by the guard, and it went outside instead.
And this is Jerome Bettis to the 26-yard line.
And when you're 30th in the league in passing, I mean, there's enough blame to go around for everybody. I don't care who it is. You know, it's just one of those things where you have a new coordinator trying to learn his players. You have a struggling young quarterback, an offensive line that's in shambles because of injuries, and receivers, you lose your best receiver in Yancey Thigpen. So it's going to take time.
You know, for all the heat that Cordell Stewart has taken, keep in mind he's thrown 10 interceptions. Brett Favre has thrown 15. Now he's only got 6 touchdown passes coming in tonight. He's got, you know, obviously he'll improve upon that. Brett, on the other hand, has 17.
Second down and 6. Stewart is 9 of 12, going for 6 more, and throws it out of the end zone. Courtney Hawkins, the nearest receiver. Tyrone Williams, good coverage.
And, you know, that doesn't bother me because, you know, you're giving a shot down the field, and hey, look, you throw it out of bounds. Everybody's covered. Everybody on the field of play was covered. Just get rid of it. Don't take a sack. Make a decision. Make it quickly and get rid of the football.
It is 3rd down and 6. Coaches always talking about how key 3rd down conversions are. The Steelers tonight are 7 for 7 on 3rd down.
It's the quarterback's down, guys, and the quarterback has got to make plays. He's got to deliver the football, and so far Cordell has been 100%.
From the gun, Blackwell in motion.
Here it comes. Blitz.
Stewart under pressure, and this time he can't escape. It was Keith McKenzie, number 95, who wrapped him up.
And I'm not sure that was a running play, Boomer. The way the pass protection looked up front, it almost looked like that was a quarterback draw.
It might have been, or it looks like Mike Tomczak was saying to him right there, hey, look, you know, if it's a blitz, just hit your quick receiver. These are things that, you know, are hard to tell from up here. You just never know.
This will be a 45-yard field goal attempt for Norm Johnson. Johnson in his 16th season. Mike Tomczak to hold it. From 45 yards away, Johnson's kick is right down the middle.
Norm Johnson's money.
They cash in for 3 late in the second period. 17-0 Steelers.
Sugar Ray, you are getting hammered by long-distance charges. Do like I do. Just dial 1010-811 before long-distance calls, and we'll beat 1010-321 and AT&T's one rate, guaranteed. And get this, there's no $4.95 monthly fee. Hey, are you okay? You all right?
The luxurious Nissan Maxima has one of the 10 best engines in America, something which may come in handy, say, you're ever late for a flight.
Now lease a Maxima GXC for just $299 a month for 39 months with $18.99 initial payment.
When we were traveling cross country, we stopped at a place. They had the business channel. We started watching, and the market was going down, and we said, there are these stocks we wanted to buy, and from the road we called up.
Called Schwab because we didn't have a phone modem in the motorhome, so we couldn't trade online. Where were we?
Utah.
Utah.
We were in Utah.
On a payphone, talking to Schwab,
Trying to get.
buying the stocks. There was a feeling of exhilaration. Hey, we've done it. You've committed to it. Then we got back in the motorhome and traveled on our way.
And those purchases
have done very well.
For a wife and for a partner, not knowing is much worse than knowing.
Is he dying?
All new NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday.
Dan Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the son of Art Rooney, the founder of the team. Boomer, you were talking about naming the stadium. If they name a stadium after anybody, it has to be named after Art Rooney, you would think.
Much like they're doing down in Cincinnati, naming it after great Paul Brown. And, you know, these guys have brought football to these cities, and they basically have, you know, are a part of those cities, and rightfully so, I think.
But in an era where naming rights go for big, big money, millions and millions of dollars, it's tough to pass it up.
Right, very. Johnson's kick is fielded by Preston. And Preston will tackle up at about the 32. A reminder that Sports Night, one of the best new shows of the season, follows Spin City, and you'll see that tomorrow night right here on ABC.
Now, this is the situation that Brett Favre finds himself in now. You have to be careful. You don't want to be forcing the issue. And the game is still well within your reach. You got a long, long time to go, a whole second half. You get 7 points here, the momentum can change for you, but you just have to be careful not to force it.
From the 33-yard line, Favre swings it out. Caught there by Mark Chimura, the tight end. And Mark up to the 36-yard line, tackled by Lee Flowers.
Look at the difference between LeVon Kirkland and Brett Favre.
Look at the difference between LeVon Kirkland and any of the offensive linemen.
You know, we were walking out there on the field beforehand, and I got next to LeVon Kirkland. I started shaking a little bit. Here he comes. Look at this.
270 pounds.
That's like a bull in the ring right there.
Oh,
man.
That's a big hunk of loving linebacker there.
I don't know about loving linebacker.
We saw him in a local steakhouse last night. There's no more steak left. 2nd and 7 as Favre gets dumped, flagged down at the 29-yard line. Nolan Harrison, who's been hurt, dumps him. But it's a hold against Green Bay.
Dante Jones has given Travis Jervey all he can handle on the pass rush, coming around the Brett Favre's backside, running all the way around Travis.
Bill Cowher, of course, saying decline it.
So subtle, Bill.
Holding. Number 32 of the offense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Jervey.
You know, Nolan Harrison gets the sack, but it's because of Dante Jones coming from Brett Favre's backside, running around Jervey, that forces Brett over there. And Nolan Harrison is the beneficiary of Dante Jones' work.
Mount Holmgren may erupt at any time.
3rd and 14 from the 29-yard line. Favre slings it, and it's almost picked off by Dwayne Washington. And there weren't a lot of people between Dwayne and the end zone.
No, that was 24-0.
You can't appreciate how difficult it is to play quarterback in Pittsburgh in this situation with the noise right now. And they're blitzing and they're coming after you. You have to get rid of the ball quickly, and you got to hope that the defense is not reading where you're going with that football, or 6 the other way.
Sean Landeta to punt. Courtney Hawkins from the 25. It's a 45-yard boot and a 3-yard run back. Forced out by Thomason up at the 28-yard line. 4:43 left in the half. A perfect half thus far for Pittsburgh. 17-0.
The luxurious Nissan Maxima has one of the 10 best engines in America. Something which may come in handy, say, you're ever late for a flight.
Now lease a Maxima GXC for just $299 a month for 39 months with $18.99 initial payment.
A man who has lived a remarkable life and a visitor from the other side.
Are you a dream? I'm not a dream. You want me to be your guide. I wish to see the world.
Are about to begin an extraordinary relationship.
You know about money, don't you? You can't buy happiness?
Brad Pitt.
I have this weak feeling in my knees.
Anthony Hopkins.
It's hard to let go, isn't it? Yes, it is, Bill. Well, that's life.
Meet Joe Black. A Martin Brest film. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Wednesday, a fabulous new diet that lets you eat more, a lot more, and lose weight, a lot of weight. Is this too good to be true?
2020, Wednesday.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. outside Three Rivers Stadium on a crisp and very pleasant mid-November evening. And thus far, this big crowd loving every moment. Their Steelers on top 17-0. 4:43 left in the half. Pittsburgh has the ball at its own 27-yard line. Reggie White digging in on first down. And it is Bettis bouncing out past the 30 up to the 33-yard line. Mike Holmgren with some interesting numbers since he's been the head coach at Green Bay in '92 on at Lambeau Field, 46-7. And then on the road on grass, a great record, 15-6. Inside on artificial turf, 8-12, not too bad. But outside, as Dan mentioned on the pregame show, outside on this surface, 1-9 with that one win against Cincinnati earlier this year.
And it looks like the team saw that statistic before this game started.
Here is Bettis up to the 40-yard line. They're playing like it. First down.
Well, and we had a good look at Mike Holmgren earlier, and he looks like a guy who's about to go off like a bottle rocket at any moment. Don't put a blood pressure cuff on Mike Holmgren right now.
You know, one of the hardest things to do, I mean, is just to get the pulse of your football team. I mean, both of these teams, you know, are playoff caliber teams. Many feel that the Green Bay Packers are a Super Bowl caliber team, but you know, one week they play like, you know, that type of team, and then the next week they come out and lay an egg, much like Pittsburgh did last week.
Well, they've been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years. Won one of them, lost to the Broncos last year.
Bettis picks up 2 up to the 42-yard line.
You know, and again, I guess what you can do is you can go back and look at the loss of Dorsey Levens as saying how significant that is, you know, for your football team. And it really, I mean, it has a ripple effect throughout the entire, you know, the entire roster, because now your defense tends to be on the field a little bit longer. They get a little bit more winded. And then you run into a team like this that can run the football, you know, and it makes for a long season.
An outstanding start for Cordell Stewart. Look at that rating, 124.8.
2nd and 8.
Can't ask for much more of that from your quarterback.
And that is caught by Tim Lester, the blocking back. And the other encouraging thing, Dan, after you look at those numbers, is that through Stewart's career, he has been a much better quarterback in the second half than in the first half.
Well, that's
stark contrast.
That wasn't the case last week, though.
No.
One of the things that, you know, Cordell has to learn as well is, you know, last week after the game, you know, he was being interviewed and he said, well, I had my best game of the season. I'm like, hello? You threw 3 picks in the second half. And Bill Cowher had one of his talks with him again. And you could see right there with the graphic that in the second half he has a better rating than he does in the first. But that, again, it wasn't the case last week.
All that matters, did you have a W or an L?
Right.
And they had an L.
And that's right. And I don't think that you can justify your performance after a loss like that.
2-minute warning in Pittsburgh. Crowd loving it. 17-0 Steelers.
My life has changed over the years a lot.
Do you feel you have enough in the fixed income portfolio? Single woman, raising a child, starting a business.
I want to be able to travel.
All new life phases, all new challenges about finances.
Carol knows my lifestyle. She knows the kinds of needs that I have.
There's a lot of support behind me.
Prudential is a big company, and it's amazing the kind of personal service that they give.
What are you doing?
Winning a trip to Hawaii.
Mow the lawn.
Can't. There's some tough bugs out there.
Find Flick from Disney and Pixar's A Bug's Life stamped on the bottom of specially marked cans of Dr. Pepper, and you're off to Hawaii. Or enter to win PlayStation game consoles and other prizes.
Look at this yard.
A Bug's Life is coming to theaters, and Dr. Pepper sending you to Hawaii.
Call a gardener.
This is a taste.
Here at VMI, we were asked to try the new Norelco Advantage for 21 days. There was quiet dissension.
I'm not giving up my blade.
And anxious inquiry.
The heck is this? Goo?
But then we started to realize the lotion actually gave us a closer, smoother shave than we expected, without the nicks and cuts like blades. Our fear diminished. Our hopes arose, and life got a little less hairy.
Come on, babyface, move it!
The new Norelco Advantage. Put it to the test. If you don't like it, they'll give you your money back, guaranteed.
From the producer of Armageddon at The Rock, his first television event, Max Q, Thursday, November 19th, only on ABC.
Steelers outgaining the Packers by better than a 3-1 margin.
And you look at that 219 yards for Pittsburgh. They've only been averaging 288 for the entire game. By far and away the best half they've mounted in a long time.
And another important third down right now for the Steelers. You know, this is a big play for the Packer defense right here.
3rd and 5 from the 45. Here comes the blitz. There goes the pass. Another conversion. It is caught by Hines Ward, and the Georgia rookie with some great moves all the way to the 10-yard line.
I would tell you that if you're going to blitz, you better not let the guys get off the line of scrimmage so free and easy. And it's the one thing that doesn't make any sense to me, because Cordell can sit back there and deliver the ball on time, and the cornerback is playing off.
Well, Pat Terrell came on the blitz, and Cordell goes right to that side to Ward.
The only thing that I can think of the reason why the cornerback would be playing off is when you think back to the Minnesota game we had, where they were throwing the ball up and making big plays down the sideline.
Well, so far from the Packers, we've seen soft coverages and missed tackles.
Here's Bettis on 1st and goal from the 10, taking it to the 8.
And we've seen Cordell Stewart delivering the football right where it needs to go.
Steelers and the Packers here, remember, are out of timeout. So the Steelers, as you look at Stewart after that 45-yard pass and run,
Can
take the clock all the way down.
He's doing. I just get in the huddle. Let's call a play. Forget all that antics.
It's called freedom of expression. He's expressing himself.
That's great.
2nd and goal. Steelers have 2 timeouts at their disposal. And they give it to Bettis.
They'll use one right here.
They'll take it to the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
You know, the thing that's kind of startling tonight is the fact of as many missed tackles as there have been.
Yep.
And not so much in the middle of the defense, but on the outside. The cornerback's missing and the receivers breaking tackles.
Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. 10-10-811, the new dime line for all your long-distance calls. And Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
This is the part of the field now where Cordell Stewart becomes even more valuable and even more dangerous because of the things that they can use him on. They can use him on options. They can use him. They can throw the ball back to him. They can use a lot of different things. They'll probably have him coming out of the shotgun with 4 or 5 wide receivers, and they'll give him an opportunity to move around.
Well, the Steelers always keep the option in their repertoire when you've got a guy that has the movement of Cordell Stewart. Told maybe maybe it could happen.
They better get this ball snapped.
3rd and goal. Late coming out of the huddle. They get it snapped at 1, and they give the ball to Chris Fuamatu Ma'afala. Touchdown.
Ma'afala's 2nd touchdown of the year. And Mike Holmgren asking his defensive coordinator, Fritz Shermer, is that the best we can do?
Chris Fuamatu Ma'afala, a rookie, and a junior Bettis.
Just a little delay up the middle. It's a draw from the shotgun.
6th round pick out of Utah. Johnson for the point after. Steelers have had the ball 4 times, 3 touchdowns, and a field goal.
Well, kudos to everybody involved with the Pittsburgh offense, but especially pass one along again to Ray Sherman. Fabulous call.
So what do you think would happen if they took one of those goofball polls right now, huh?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I mean, it goes from week to week in this league. And you can see right here, all it is a little straight up draw right up the middle. The offensive linemen do a really nice job of sealing off the inside. And Fuamatu Ma'afala, right?
You got it, baby.
Is that right?
Very good.
I was so afraid of saying that name tonight.
You know, Al, if they're taking any polls right now, it's in Green Bay.
You're right. The polls are closed.
This is stunning.
Well, there certainly will be adjustments at halftime in the Green Bay locker room. You know, the thing that I always caution, though, and I'm sure that Bill Cowher will also, is when he gets into that locker room at halftime, he's going to say, hey, look, boys, they could score 24 points on us as quickly as we scored on them, so do not let up.
Right now, the Steelers at or above 100 yards rushing already in this game. Keep in mind, the Packers only allowing 88 yards a game rushing all season long. So they're being dominated on the ground. They're being dominated by Pittsburgh's passing game. Their tackling is sloppy, and they've got a goose egg on the scoreboard. A little out of character for the guys in the green and gold, to say the least.
It's a ground ball picked up by Keith McKenzie, and he brings it back to the 40 with 23 ticks left. Update from Baltimore, Chris Berman.
All right, Al, thank you. Head on the Toyota halftime show, the ESPN Top 10 Plays of the Week, including a trio of 14-point swings and appearances by the Body, the Waterboy, and the Tennessee Scrambler. Back to you, Al.
All right, Chris, at the 39-yard line, it is 1st and 10 as Travis Jervey works his way up to the 49. The Packers do not have a timeout.
You know what that shows me right there, handing the ball off, is that Mike Holmgren says enough's enough, because they were in an area where normally they would go for some offensive wide receiver play on the outside and try to get him in field goal range. Enough is enough as far as Mike Holmgren is concerned.
For a long time, it's been 9 years since the Packers have trailed by this many points at the half. Toyota halftime show coming up, top 10 plays of the week, and back we come after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC stations.
Don't call Derek Thomas a hero. Strong as he is, hungry as he is, he has his own. Bright as he burns, far back as he can remember. And when that bird thunders by on the land of the free and the home of the brave, he gives his props. Robert Thomas, Air Force pilot, killed in action. Robert Thomas, Derek's father, present in heart.
On the left is bottled water. On the right, ordinary tap water. You probably think the bottled water tastes better and is safer for your family, right? Not so fast. News 2 compares the quality and taste of bottled water versus tap water. You won't believe the results. If you're one of the millions who spends hundreds of dollars a year on bottled water, you need to watch this News 2 Extra. Bottled water. Think before you drink. Tomorrow at 5, only on News 2. First, fast, accurate.
The New York Times says Sports Night is by far the best new show of the season, and TV Guide says the season's best new network drama is a half-hour comedy. What can we say?
We're the best, okay? The very best. Yeah? Well, maybe not the best, but we're pretty good.
And it's on every Tuesday, right after Spin City. See you Tuesday on ABC.
With Americans changing how they eat,
What looks good for dinner?
it's no surprise innovators like Publix are changing how they market.
I want some fish.
Or that they brought in a company to help them link 400 stores
Shipping 50 20-pound crates
to monitor inventory so you get fresh food.
to be delivered tomorrow.
What may be news is who cooked this data network up. It was Bell South.
I'm looking for some fresh cod.
From big ideas to little dreams, we've got it in the bag.
A health alert that concerns your child. Wednesday at 5 and 10 on News 2.
The Toyota Halftime Show. Brought to you by Toyota Trucks. With you for the long haul. Once again, from the ESPN Zone, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody. Score at the half. Wow. Steelers 24 and the Packers nothing. In our ESPN Top 10 Plays of the Week, we feature big turnovers by fumble, by interception, and by the vote. Play 10. How about Vinny and the Jets? 0-2 start. They're 6-3 now. Vinny Testaverde to Keyshawn Johnson. The Jets riddle the Bills. Play 9.
You want to give that to us again? Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse the Body Ventura on Election Day. Both Republicans and Democrats were body slammed. He's now Jesse the Governor Ventura for the state of Minnesota. Play 8. With the governor dressed more leisurely, or the governor-elect looking on, the Vikings turn to Chris Carter. All he does, catch touchdowns. Some of the spectacular variety. The Vikes 8-1 as they beat the Saints 31-24. But it didn't come easy. Play 7. Vikings about to score, but it's no. Sammy Knight in white satin. He had a pair of picks, including this one. 91 yards that tied the game in the fourth quarter. Play 6. The Bengals think they're going to score against the Jaguars. Corey Dillon into the end zone. No, it's a fumble. Aaron Beasley goes 90 yards for the Jags. Play 5. New England's Drew Bledsoe's going to score. He's in the red zone. The pass. No, it's a fumble. Chuck Smith picks it up. Rumbling, bubbling, stumbling. Sean Jefferson moving on down. He could go all the way. 41-10. Falcons riddle the Patriots are 7-2. 4 for 4 sacks for the Niners. Chris Dolman against Carolina. And Baltimore's Mike McCrary as they upset their Raiders. Play 3.
I want you to visualize and then attack. Can you handle that?
Boys, the Giants, Percy Ellsworth. The Falcons, Cornelius Bennett. The Bucks, Warren Sapp. The Falcons, Eugene Robinson. And the Cards, Mark Maddox, who levels his own guy, Eric Metcalf. Play 1. With only a 2-point lead and late to go. Steve Air McNair, no one if by land. Look at him go, 6'2", 224. He's a quarterback, but he could go all the way. 71 yards, 31-22. The Oilers give the Bucks their first loss in You Can Call Me Ray J Stadium. And now you see how Steve McNair and the Oilers beat the Steelers last week. They'll host them again next week at Tennessee. But tonight, Steelers having their way with the Pack. Coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show, news and notes, BCS standings, and a look back at the first half, 24-0, Pittsburgh.
One tropical splash.
Yeah. Have you tried Mondo Mango? What's it taste like? Mango. Well, I've never had mango. What if I don't like mango? Have you tried
To some, a scented cardboard cutout is simply no substitute for the genuine article. The freshly updated 1999 Toyota 4Runner.
The election is over and the mayor can finally be himself.
Pulled my groin this morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, felt so good I pulled it again.
You can't miss it, the funniest ensemble on television.
Just keeping it real, yo.
And Mike is as humble as ever.
I'm the deputy mayor of the world!
It must be November on Spin City, followed by Sports Night. See you Tuesday.
Wednesday, Drew's friends buy him a very cool car.
Ta-da!
But why would he sell it to you-know-who?
Because I'm an idiot!
Ah, come on, it's not that bad.
I wore breasts for the longest month of my life so I could get the money. And what do? You throw my breasts back in my face.
Drew Carey and the Secret Lives of Men. See you Wednesday.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show. Once again, Chris Berman.
Welcome back to the zone, everybody. This football note, good news and bad news for the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. Quarterback Brad Johnson, who broke his right thumb after replacing starter Randall Cunningham yesterday, will be out 4 weeks. But Cunningham had arthroscopic knee surgery today and says he'll be ready to play this Sunday. Vikings coach Dennis Green says Cunningham will play, but only if he practices fully on Thursday. If not, Jay Fiedler from Dartmouth gets the nod against the Bengals. College football, the Bowl Championship Series standings were announced today. The third time in 3 weeks, a new number 1. It's Tennessee and UCLA, number 1 and 2. Kansas State, number 1 in the coaches poll, is number 3. And UCLA is ahead in the BCS standings due to strength of schedule. At the end of the season, the number 1 and 2 teams in the BCS will meet for the College Football National Championship January 4th in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And guess where you'll see that? Right here on ABC. Let's head back to the Three Rivers now. And Al, Reports of the Steelers' offensive demise greatly exaggerated, huh?
Boy, they played as good a first half, Chris, as you can possibly play, doing it against a quality opponent, coming in after that disastrous loss last week, but 9 of 10 with third down conversions. They've outgained Green Bay 4-1, and it began on the first drive, an almost perfect drive that ended with a pass to Johnson, Charles Johnson, who scored 3 touchdowns last week, taking it in for the score. And then it was Cordell Stewart, and one of those third down plays was this 3rd and 7 from the 33-yard line as Cordell Stewart takes off, takes the ball down to the 3-yard line. It sets up a Stewart touchdown. Norm Johnson would add a field goal. Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala would add another touchdown, and the defense has done a great job. Favre is 6 of 8, but for only 70 yards and 2 sacks in the first half. So it's 24-0 for Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what in the world is Mike Holmgren telling his team right now, Dan?
Well, I can only speculate. It might be something along the lines of, hey, guys, you're embarrassing yourself. You're not playing a high school game in front of 400 people in Kenosha. This is in front of 40 million people on Monday night, and you are stinking the joint up. You start with the defense and you say, you've given up 24 points. You cannot give up another touchdown or we have no chance of winning this game. So it's really very simple. He has to challenge their pride and their integrity, Boomer. And for Pittsburgh, status quo.
Actually, on the other side, right now, Bill Cowher is in there telling, don't let up. And he's very happy with the way Cordell Stewart is playing. As what Al said before, you know, they're 9 of 10 on third down. He's 11 of 15 for about 170 yards. He's masterfully handling his offense and making the plays that we're accustomed to seeing Cordell doing right now.
God willing, all 40 million have Nielsen books.
I thought it was more than that.
That's why I exaggerated.
We hope not. 24-0 at the half.
Fitting in, schmitting in.
What the?
The RAV4. It's not for everyone, only you.
The Toyota Halftime Show has been brought to you by Toyota Trucks, with you for the long haul. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this from our ABC station.
You were so freaked out at that movie.
Oh, please, me? You were the one with your head buried in my chest all night.
The hills were alive.
An all-new Home Improvement. See you Tuesday on ABC.
Dharma, back in high school?
I was wondering if you had any dresses that weren't lame, but that were, like, totally awesome.
Dharma and Greg. See you Wednesday.
High school rocks!
On the left is bottled water. On the right, ordinary tap water. You probably think the bottled water tastes better and is safer for your family, right? Not so fast. News 2 compares the quality and taste of bottled water versus tap water. You won't believe the results. If you're one of the millions who spends hundreds of dollars a year on bottled water, you need to watch this News 2 Extra. Bottled water. Think before you drink. Tomorrow at 5, only on News 2. First, fast, accurate.
Are you concerned about losing more hair? Do you wonder how much further it will go? Do you wish you could do something about it? Well, now there's a pill for men with certain types of hair loss. Introducing Propecia. In clinical studies, the vast majority of men, 83%, maintain their current hair count, and most, 66%, regrew some hair. Take it daily and you could see results in as little as 3 months. Propecia is for men only. A small number of men experience certain sexual side effects. Each occurred in less than 2% of men. Women who are or may potentially be pregnant must not use it or handle broken tablets because of the risk of a specific kind of birth defect. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist and read the consumer information they can provide. Propecia, helping make hair loss history.
Dodge Ram was the first and is still the only full-size pickup to be ranked most appealing by J.D. Power & Associates. It was the first to offer a 10-cylinder engine, and it was the first quad-cab. And now, for the first time, we're offering $1,000 back on the truck that changed the rules. But hurry, this is one first that won't last. $1,000 cash back on all new 98 Rams in stock.
You can win a trip for two to a Monday Night Football game. Hurry into Mapco Express to pick up an entry form and mail it in. It's the Monday Night Football Fantasy Sweepstakes from Mapco Express and News 2. It's a respiratory disease that strikes children. How can you recognize it and fight it? Don't miss RSV, Cause for Concern. Wednesday at 5 and 10 only on News 2.
Monday Night Football Online is inside the game with live action, interviews, post-game analysis, and live polls on the web at ESPN.com.
Had a great first half of the season. Preston fields it at the 12-yard line, looking to give him a spark, but that Steelers special teams unit doing its job all year long. Fuamatu Ma'afala makes the tackle. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al was very optimistic in the Pittsburgh locker room. Bill Cowher said it was the best first half for both the offensive line and for Cordell Stewart. He said to his guys, let's finish them off. Well, it was the opposite in Green Bay. Mike Holmgren said we've missed too many tackles. We've got to make adjustments to get more pressure on Cordell. And then I asked him what was his mood like. He said, not good, Al.
Not good. To say the least. From the 32-yard line, first down.
You see Brett Favre audibling right here because he reads the blitz in one-on-one.
And he takes it up to the 34-yard line, tackled there by Kirkland and Gilden. It's normally a good indication that the mood is not good when there is no paint left on the wall in the locker room.
When you audible as a quarterback, however, you have to make sure that you get rid of the football. You don't want to hold on to it because you know that sooner or later somebody's going to get to you. You know, and this also could be a situation where Brett obviously is very aware that he's thrown a number of interceptions and he doesn't want to do it again. He doesn't want to have that happen to him and his football team at this point. So he's not going to take the unnecessary chances.
On 2nd and 8, little swing pass, and Carnell Lake is right there to greet Travis Jervey. First half stats and a 4-to-1 ratio in total yardage. Very close to that when they appear momentarily.
Well, the Green Bay Packers with a grand total of 72 total yards. A stunning performance by the Pittsburgh offense, but that third down conversion for Pittsburgh, look at that, 9 out of 10. Talk about keeping drives alive.
No, if you're around 45%, you're pretty good.
Third down and 11 from the 30-yard line, and that's nowhere.
Got to be holding that time.
Yeah, Dwayne Washington locked up with Robert Brooks.
You know, and it looked like to me that Brett Favre knew that he had the penalty and just threw it right out there to get the penalty. A lot of times you're not going to get that call, you know, especially when you take a chance of doing that.
Ron Winter is the referee. By the way, this officiating crew is working with only 6 men right now. The umpire who started the game, Ed Kukart, broke his nose.
Pass interference. Number 20 in the defense. Penalized spot of the foul. First down.
That's Washington, and with Kukart out, they've moved Steve Zimmer, who is the field judge, into the umpire's position. First and 10 from the 33-yard line, and this is Jervey up to the 35-yard line.
You look at that, you see 11 defensive Steelers in the picture making the tackle, and that's exactly what you want as a defensive coordinator. You want defenses hustling to the football, and you don't want, if you have a broken tackle, you want to make sure you have guys there to clean up the mess.
Well, Boomer, they turned in such a poor performance last week against Tennessee. You knew that they were going to come back and play a more inspired defensive game today against the Packers. Who knew they were going to play this well, though?
On 2nd and 8, pressure from the edge, but it's picked up, and that's incomplete. Intended over the middle for Mark Chmura.
Well, Chmura getting ridden downfield and sandwiched right between Earl Holmes and Levon Kirkland, the 2 middle linebackers, and between the 2 of them, that's a lot of girth for Brett to try to get the ball into Chmura.
Well, you know, when a defense plays a cover 2 Dan, with the two deep safeties, the quarterback knows that he wants to go down the middle. Now the middle linebackers also know that that's where the seam in the defense is. So they know that they have to cover him, and they're looking for him.
Well, trying to get the ball around Holmes and Kirkland is asking a lot.
3rd and 8. Favre stepping up. Throws one-handed and picked off by Dwayne Washington. What an interception.
Well, Washington dropped an interception in the first half that was thrown right to him. So he follows it up here in the 3rd quarter with an absolutely circus interception on the sideline.
How'd he get it, number 1? How'd he stay in bounds, number 2?
Well, let's watch and find out.
A hidden camera recorded the crime.
None of this goes beyond us.
An innocent bystander was given the evidence.
How did you happen to be at Ruby's today?
I was shopping for some lingerie for your wife. Not for myself. I do a little cross-dressing on the weekends.
You have something they want. I don't have anything.
Will Smith.
Tell them to stop it now.
Gene Hackman.
You live another day, I'll be very impressed.
Enemy of the state.
Certainly carjacked a really nice car.
Rated R. Starts Friday, November 20th.
Everything was going well on Frank's first night as foreman until he made one tiny mistake.
There's a Ford F-Series in the lot with lights on. There's a Ford F-Series with lights on.
F-Series is America's best-built, best-selling truck. It's 50 years tough. And obviously, for a lot of people, it's the only truck that's tough enough. Next time, Frank, get the plate number. Ford F-Series, the biggest, toughest trucks ever built Ford Tough.
Show her your feminine side. Uh-huh. Flowers. Flowers are nice. How about a big box of chocolates? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Quit. Dumper. Go fishing.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well.
Quit. Dumper. Go fishing.
Quit. Dumper. Go fishing.
Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Ice House. Thanks and enjoy.
From the producer of Armageddon at The Rock, his first television event, Max Q, Thursday, November 19th, only on ABC.
Well, you want to know why interceptions happen. You can see Carlos Emmons coming around, forcing Brett Favre early to throw it too early. And then Bill Schrader does not get good separation from Dwayne Washington. Brett has really nowhere to throw the football. So it comes down, a little pressure, not a great route, and a defensive back who's got a lot of confidence that wants to make an interception.
Wiping the blood off Brett Favre on the Green Bay sideline. Insult to injury. As Jerome Bettis picks up a couple tackled by Leroy Butler. Coming into the game, Favre almost 3 interceptions a game over the last 5. So this is 15 in the last 5.5. Most by any player in any such span in this decade. So
the only thing I could tell you about Brett Favre that is significant right now is that he has as much confidence as anybody in this league. An interception, 15 of them, it doesn't matter. It's not going to take him away from what he does best. He plays a reckless brand of football, has led to championships and led him to be the best quarterback in the NFL over the last 3 years. So I wouldn't worry about his psyche.
No, I don't think we have to worry about Brett going into a shell.
That's not going to happen.
No. But you have to worry about, though, that the damage those interceptions do to his football team.
And then you look at the possessions for Pittsburgh in the first half, and you don't have many opportunities to be on the field when they're holding the ball for that long and scoring that many points.
Good substantial drives, a pair of 9 plays, a dozen in there. That's good solid work by the Pittsburgh offense.
Brendan Stye is coming off the field, the guard replaced by Roger Duffy.
For an offensive line that's been battling injuries all year, they don't need to see Stye head to the bench.
3rd down and 7 from the 43-yard line. Cordell sets up the screen for Amato Ma'afala. And the crowd going foo, first down.
And another 3rd down conversion.
And Craig Newsome is shaken up.
Out of the shotgun formation again, just solid work up front by Pittsburgh. And again, there's Duffy who gets out in front. Just good blocking by Dermontti Dawson. And I said to run these type of plays, you got to have offensive linemen that can run. At the time we were talking about the Packers. The Steelers can do it too, Boomer.
And a nice, good, safe call in that situation by Ray Sherman, not putting his quarterback in a difficult situation.
1st and 10 from the 32. And Stewart almost has that one intercepted.
Do not throw it late on the sideline. You could see Cordell looking left.
Newsome almost picks it off, and Will Blackwell was the intended receiver.
And then came back. This is the second one that Cordell actually got a break on. Don't want to throw the ball late all the way across the field. Oh. Those are momentum changers. Yep. If Newsome can hold on to that football.
Blackwell actually did a pretty good job there pulling Newsome's left arm away from the football. He had to turn into a defensive back himself on that play. Did a nice job.
2nd and 10. Pressure from the inside. Did they get the pass away? And it's Bettis behind Lester inside the 15, and the 6-yard line is where it finally ends. So after a very close to momentum changing interception, the next thing you know, it's 1st and goal.
Just another easy screen pass to complete for Cordell.